going to put you on. Actually, no, you're good. You're good. This is still attached to my phone, so we're good. Are the other guys on?
Yep, everybody's here. It looks like.
Yeah.
All right, great.
All right, so let's first of all looking at the competitor's website. They're doing what I did when I did Flawless. It's just taking I don't know what the ingredients are. I imagine it's some sort of chain amino peptide.
Yeah, the ingredient is a chemical.
Silica based.
Exactly.
So what exactly is the main ingredient, and what does it do? Where do you have the manufacturer information on that?
What it does is it just instantly tightens your skin. I don't know how it's doing that. But
well, like for instance with argireline, right? So when I sell argireline at 5%, it has the same 90-second effect that we're seeing right here, right? So when I sell argireline, I get to explain these chain amino peptides smooth and puff the muscle underneath the skin and push up so that it diminishes the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, puffy under eyes in an instant.
We have sodium silicate in it. That's what really does it. We have acetyl hexapeptide 8, which I think that was thrown in there as an ingredient to profess that it did something, which it doesn't really. It's the sodium silicate that really does it. Josh, what's the hexapeptide 8? Can you Google that real quick?
That's either Verisol or Replexium. I'll tell you in 1 second.
Okay. And then it has hyaluronate in it as well, which is also very positive. So there's two ways to put that spin. So obviously what we want, what our Alerica is all about is the Collagen Kit. This is just this is something to get people's attention. But Mark, maybe this is going to be the lead, and that puts, like we talked about, and then they go. This gives them the instant gratification, and then they get into the long-term differential with the other two products, the cream and the supplement.
So it absolutely makes sense to lead with the 90-second effect. That has the most dramatic wow factor. That's what's going to draw people in like that. It doesn't take much to get a really good click-through rate on an ad showing that, in a 10-second video, that 90-second effect. Click here, right? So getting mostly people's attention, and we can obviously split test how we go after men and women. Because with the dog whistle language is different, even though the circumstances are essentially the same. The ego's different.
Yeah.
Having that 90-second effect is going to get people into the funnel. Once we have them into the funnel, then we can get into what's going on inside the body, that deeper conversation. That's
right.
But it's surfing the momentum of the 90-second effect. So while you're experiencing this amazing 90-second effect on the inside, you're nourishing your body with the essential fibers that your skin needs to maintain a tight, elastic, glowing complexion.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we get to explain, the spiral effect of aging, how long it takes for new cells to birth, what we're putting inside of those new cells, how we're treating those stem cells that create these baby cells, and how we get to change how every new cycle of cellular skin cell birth is an opportunity to surf momentum, to change your complexion, to either go this way or this way. You can either continue rapidly and prematurely aging because you're missing the vital nutrients your body requires to keep you looking and feeling young.
I mean, I look like I'm 49, right? I've been taking this stuff for a couple of months now.
Dude, I'm over 1,000 years old.
I love it.
There can be only one. So, I don't know if you've ever seen The Highlander. So, getting them into that deeper conversation is easier. It's not that we can't do it on the front end, and we definitely want to test it on the front end aggressively. However, it's a no-brainer.
Well, it's no brainer. I mean, and obviously, with my experience anyway, being in this industry now for a long time, you start off going down one road, and ultimately and inevitably you end up going down another couple of different roads. So we may find that the 90-second is just such a purebred winner, and that's going to do millions, that we want to come out with a facelift product like I did with Dermasilk, and you come out with a 4-minute facelift, and it's an offshoot of 90-second eye lift. And then from there you go into Flawless, which, by the way, I trademarked Flawless. I was the first one to trademark it back in 2006.
Yeah, he had truly flawless.
We've got so many other products that we can upsell, but so anyway, the consumer's going to tell us what they like the most. I guess at the end of the day, they're going to tell us what they want.
The audience always, data never lies. This thing right here, we move it a lot. It tells a lot of stories. Data doesn't lie.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant because it gives us an exact way to respond. Kill it. It's not working. Doesn't matter how much we try to optimize that. There's just too much work there. We got momentum there. How are we going to increase that momentum?
Right.
Oh, look at this drop off right here. Boom, we start testing different leads, just like I did for my doctor, just like, right. So we got a bottom half that's performing like crazy, but we're seeing gaps in engagement. So I took a conversation and I shortened it. And I said it in many different ways, because what gets us to raise our hands, isn't always the same thing. We can say the same thing in a million different ways, and then the dog whistle language hopefully will get enough people, right? And that's always the hope, that our net is big enough to get enough people that raise their hand to the deeper but broad messaging. So what's the broader messaging? We're all aging. It's inevitable. And we all have feelings about aging. We all have stories about aging. I do. I just, this year I turned 40 years old. You see all this right here? I wasn't there last year all that gray. It's like, yeah, I can definitely feel, and it's like, there's certain things that I want to do in my life. And I feel like, you better do it pretty soon. Otherwise you're going to age out. I have that conversation with myself. I'm not going to look the part if I don't move on certain things now. I'm not gonna be able to do it. That's just one conversation I have with myself about aging.
Yep.
Everybody's got their story, right? So it's a matter to get people to raise their hands. How often, how long? I worked with this lady, Belinda Ben. I think I mentioned her. She worked for, she was a marketing executive at Shiseido. Shiseido?
Yep.
The company, yeah. And they did test groups. One of the things in their test groups that was resounding with all of these women was their morning ritual. Everything that they did to make themselves look ready for the day. The average woman spent about 45 minutes to an hour getting herself ready for the day. Now, how much emotion exists in that woman if she's willing to spend an hour to beautify herself, to feel good enough to go out there into the world.
Mm-hmm.
I can't go out there with my face naked. It makes me too vulnerable. That's what gets women to raise their hand. What if you can go out naked? Your face is naked, no makeup. And you look and feel like you've already spent that hour.
There you go.
Making yourself look as beautiful as you possibly can, but you do it now naturally in just 90 seconds.
Yep.
You see what I mean?
Absolutely. I'm here, by the way.
I'm never here. I'm always, I lost it a long time ago. I recommend it, by the way. So let's dive into the supplement. So, I mean, just no, I don't want to sound egotistical. This is a no-brainer. I need all of the assets, you know, the videos you're getting produced, the ingredients, just, you know, like Skype them to me, just so anything that you have from the manufacturer, I can do the rest. That's no problem. I've written $1 million copy doing exactly what we're talking about. So this isn't a question of, I think I can do this. I've done it. I know exactly how to do it. And this is 2019. Technology's better. And we're going to have that 22nd century technology effect in our copy, right? That cutting edge. The most advanced way to combat rapid premature aging that doesn't have to happen when you address So now we're getting into the supplement. So what's the supplement?
So the supplement has very versatile, and if you go onto the site and are on it right now, that really really quite simply, it's you know, everything that you've already described. It's what we went with here were 2 clinically proven ingredients that had strong BASF. Is one manufacturer, and Josh, who was the other manufacturer?
Gelita, Gelita.
Gelita. So if you look on more, you'll see, you know,
if I look
different, on the website, thecollagenkit.com.
Okay. That's
got all the science on it right there that we retrieved from both the manufacturers, and they're strong clinicals.
This is on the science page?
It's not yet. If you click on the science page and you go to Verisol, and you'll see everything there. If you click on Replexium, they've made a couple of they haven't completed the Replexium portion yet. That's supposed to be completed between today and tomorrow. So what you're going to see on Replexium isn't the full spectrum of what.
Hold on. I'm not seeing the page.
So up on the top, home philosophy, the science, FAQ, and contact us.
Yeah.
So you click on the science. And then you'll see 2 buttons there, or 3 actually. The collagen one doesn't work yet. I had them add an extra button about collagen so that we can educate the consumer properly about collagen and its purposes in the human body.
Okay, just FYI, if I had a difficult time understanding these were buttons, because even it doesn't show up as a button when I cursor it, that needs to be more transparent in terms of.
Oh, geez, you're right about that. You're right. I didn't even notice that. Too deep into the woods.
I looked and never occurred to me to click it, so I totally didn't know. Okay, so this is all the if beyond this, if you just have the ingredients, you can just text those 2. Is it just Replexium? That's it? Is that what I'm researching?
So that's the active. There are others. I'll send you a list.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because that way I can just get all the citations directly from, you know, all the good spots. You know what I mean? To make sure that, because I need to make sure everything is heavily sided. And we're only talking about the appearance of, you get to knock 10, 15 years off the appearance, off your appearance. We're not anti-aging. So all that language can't be in there, right? For compliance.
Mark, can you
Okay.
back up? I'm sorry, what was that?
We can't talk anti-aging in the coffee. This is rapid premature aging that we're addressing.
Yes.
Because that's the nutritional mechanism. As we lose collagen, as we lose vital nutrients, the spiral of aging gets faster.
Yep.
Right? So that's the visual that we want to create. Is that, here's like a full empty. As we get empty of certain vital nutrients, collagen, then we see the face going like melting, right? We can create that visual so that it's just like, oh, I get it. I lose these nutrients, I look like that, right? Create the association. And then mechanism time. But with these proven ingredients, it starts raising that the going from emptied back to full, and then we see the anti-aging effects when we address rapid premature aging, right?
No, you're absolutely right, Mark. And just getting into the replexing just for one quick second, you're going to have a field day once you really understand that, because what they did is they took two smaller peptides, tetrapeptide 9 and acetyltetrapeptide 11, and they actually fused them together in the lab, and they created, Josh, I don't want to call it a synthetic, but they created a laboratory created peptide, a super peptide.
Right.
And you're going to be, I think, enthralled with how they came about with that. But that it encourages the growth of just the bottom line of precursor to the creation of collagen. Without getting, once you get into the science that you'll see on the website, and maybe we went too deep with the science. That's going to be curious to see your take on that. But we got pretty deep with exactly how this super peptide works. That's on the top.
Okay. Yeah. So
the melting face, I think, I'm a science guy, but we probably went too deep with the science here.
it's all how you convey it. It has to be relatable, visual, metaphors. That's why I use, even in talking with you, I'm using metaphors, because it's easier than just being hit with science. The science needs you ever seen The Princess Bride?
Yeah.
When Billy Crystal and Carol Kane's character, they put the chocolate coating, and they say chocolate coating makes it go down easy. You remember that?
Yeah.
We're putting the chocolate coating on so it goes down easy. And
I like that.
Yeah, and it's got to be smooth. It got to be conversational. If at any point anything's hard to understand, people are just like, because it's just like it's effort. People don't like effort. If we're gonna give them a 90-second effect, it better feel effortless. Right?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Oh, I see how it works for me. Got it. And then mirror neuron. Example. So big claim, massive proof. That's how you overcome the heuristics of, oh, that doesn't work for me in this space. Okay, so you're gonna get me just any list I need of all the ingredients. You're gonna get me that.
Yep.
So those are 2 products. What are the other products?
That's it. 90-second and the topical and the supplement.
So the topical and the supplement. What were the other pages?
There's 3 in total. The 90-second eye lift, the youth serum, and the supplement.
Okay, so the serum we haven't gone over?
Right.
Okay, so just briefly, what is that?
That's the Replexium. That's the one I was just describing.
Oh, that is what you were just describing.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at this in terms of a funnel. We have the 90-second effect. The youth serum, how does that complement or accelerate or treat the deeper issues that the 90-second effect doesn't? You know, that just getting the appearance of anti-aging versus Replexium, the youth serum.
So what the topical, both the topical and the ingestible, the supplement, what they both do, they do them in through different mechanisms, but they both significantly reduce wrinkles, increase the elasticity and density of the skin. They both promote collagen synthesis and actually create new collagen.
So it's a precursor.
It's a precursor, and what
to naturally create collagen, to naturally like that. If we imagine it like a faucet, right now it's drip, drip, drip. We're opening up that valve, so it's a stream of new collagen flooding.
It makes your it increases the elasticity, density, plumps up your face, reduces wrinkles, fine lines. It increases moisture levels. So these are all things. The primary ingredients, the Versol and Replexium, those are both clinically proven, and they're in clinical efficacious amounts in the same quantities that they were used in the clinical trial.
Do you have any of the studies already?
Yep, the studies are cited on the website, and they're online as well. Josh can send those over to you.
Yeah, yep. Just any assets we can just get into a folder that way. Just have it all in one place.
Yep.
Okay, now let's talk funnel. So it seems like before we talk funnel, objections, safety, the 90-second effect. Are we leaching collagen? Are we doing anything that can accelerate aging? Argireline at 5% does.
I mean, are we doing something to accelerate? Not in my opinion. Josh, what are your thoughts?
There's no evidence that I've seen. It's kind of like an astringent effect to tighten everything. So it's just purely temporary.
Without any side effects, none.
Right. That's yeah. It's the same principle as the Plexiderm with that's made from natural shale, and the silicates just I think draw moisture out, tightening everything up, kind of like a witch hazel, but
I love witch hazel.
Better.
So 90-second effect, use serum, supplement. We can also test 1, 2, 3. So front end 2 upsells. Test that versus a bundle.
Yep.
But usually low barrier entry is the way to go. I would recommend that we just hit first the 1, 2, 3. 90-second effect, upsell.
Yep.
Start there. Yeah. Okay. And then on the website, obviously, we're just doing the pages. But in terms of funnel thinking,
Mark, along those lines with the website, are you aligned with? I know you're not a website creator. But as far as stylistic, because so as an example, if you're on a website now, can you go to the page? Can you go to the Replexium and click on that?
Mm-hmm.
So they're redoing this because they didn't, what I sent them over, they didn't draft.
By the way, nobody reads big blocks of text.
Exactly. exactly. That was my point to them.
This needs to be rewritten.
So when about you need to give this to your graphic artist. You need to get stylistic with it. You need to wordsmith it properly. It needs to be able to jump out at the consumer. It needs to have some graphics and so forth and so on. So,
well, okay. So hold on.
With you, do you have a website guy that you're aligned with, or a graphic designer that can take certain aspects of our website and beautify it, for lack of a better word?
No. Let me tell you something. Earlier this year I worked with Michael Kim, one of the best direct response designers, brand designers in the game. I paid him out of pocket. A client paid me. I paid him 10 grand out of pocket for him to do the whole funnel. He did it, and he did a beautiful job. I can show you, but he was almost 2 months late. He didn't collaborate at all. So, and I vouched for him, and it killed the project. Not only did I vouch for him, but I paid him. I also paid the video guy in Macedonia, out of my pocket, because I was a big partner in the business, and I created it. It was the gut loss diet, and it didn't see the light of day because we needed a design. Because when you have a designer, that designer needs to be able to move, adjust quickly, just like copywriter. Mm-hmm. And he was not capable of doing that. And so we needed optimizations, we needed adjustments. He didn't listen to me. I had a very distinct vision on how the brand needed to be showcased, and he just used generic blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Just so, again, so my long answer is no, and vetting those people out, because there's a lot of them out there. There's not a shortage of talent. But in terms of true team collaborators, like what we're doing right now, man, it's rough out there. Mm-hmm. In the freelance market. I can't tell you how many people in any given week talk to me and say, big known copywriters, burn them for a lot of money. And they're like, I want to work with you, Mark, but I just spent 25 grand on Vin Montello, and how can I, he's a big guy in the business. How can I make sure that you're not going to do the same thing? And it's just like, all right, well, I guess I got to compensate. I mean, even like we talked about this yesterday, doing this part of the project first. Why? Because we got to vet out relationships. We got to make sure that we don't just talk the talk. We play well with each other, produce, walk the walk, and keep moving forward in the journey. Because the journey is standing behind what you do, not just being like, here, no, go out there and be somebody. You know what I mean? So no, I don't, but I can help look. Dace, I totally recommend for the video, because he engages, and he's fast, and he gets it. Even when he doesn't quite get it right off the bat, he adjusts. He takes time.
How are you paying him with him being in Macedonia? Are you just taking a credit card, or?
Wire transfer is the best. You can't use PayPal, can't use Stripe. You can use Upwork, but that's just annoying. So yeah, when I pay him, I just go to Chase and do a transfer.
No problem.
I will. Because it is a hindrance. People have not worked with them because of that hindrance. Yep. Getting money in the Macedonia as a village.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we're with TD Bank, so I mean.
Then it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. Okay.
And he can do we can do short ads and like Gundry style front end ads.
Yep.
But the before I forget this, in terms of what you have, I want you to think about how you browse websites, how most people browse websites. If you look at data, what do people do? They skim, they scan. And if nothing jumps out to read, to look at, they bail. So when people look at this page, nothing's going to grab their eyes. They're going to bail. So I need to rewrite it, I need to rewrite it because this is clunky in language as well. And I need to isolate subheadlines and things like that. And I can also, I usually recommend images.
Yeah, and I'm gonna send you something for this.
So Mark, is it the like the part that says where better hair, skin, and nails begin? Is that the part that you think is from the beginning to rewrite, or which parts? If you look at it on mobile, it's much different than I agree. It looks lousy on the iPad and it looks lousy on. Yeah. So
I'm on a MacBook right now.
So when you start, here's the mobile side.
Yeah, it's stacked well.
Yeah.
I imagine most of your cells are like most of our sales on pretty much everything is mobile.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, mobile's what matters most.
Yeah.
But there's simple things that we can do to make it look better on all devices, and that matters.
Yeah.
And I can just work with them. You know, it's not like.
And Mark, you can take a look at what I sent over too. That's a more accurate. That's a more. What I just sent over is the consumer's going to kind of, it's similar to what you're doing with your content. It's riveting. It's getting the consumer to go. It's stylistic the way it's reading down, and the consumer's going, oh wow, that's really interesting. They keep selling them. But anyway, I can walk you through that later.
Okay. Who wrote this? Where is this from?
This is from a competitor, one of the few that actually have this Reflexion in the product. He's on the West Coast. His company's name is Aminogenesis.
Okay. Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, and that's what I had sent to Paradigm, and then walked Ben through it a couple of times, and you see the end result on the website. They just I don't know. They just didn't get it.
Yeah, you don't need to walk me through it. Let me produce, and then we can adjust and polish, right? Because I understand this stuff. And what I don't understand, it's not hard to, a lot of copywriters forget this. Like when I teach copywriters, I do copy classes just like this. And man, to take the time to become an expert in what you're writing about is a lost art. I do a lot of gut writing. I can explain the gut better than pretty much any doctor you'll ever meet. Why? Because I took the time. I've never read one copywriting book, but I read over 20 books about the gut.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, it doesn't take much when you know how to research, when you ask the right questions. God, I love you too. It's the answers we had right, but the questions we had wrong, right? So you can come to this like beautiful looking stuff, but it's, again, like I said yesterday, it's inert, a bomb that doesn't blow up. It doesn't perform its only purpose, which here is to engage and convert. So we just need to make sure those things are there, and then we can chat with the team in terms of execution, because simple things will make this a lot more digestible.
Okay.
Not just in terms of rewriting, but in terms of just breaking it up, because again, people don't read blocks of text like that.
Okay. Yeah, no, exactly.
Mark,
just looked at it. I didn't want to read it. It just looks like a piece of.
And video might be a better way to communicate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead, Gordon.
I was going to say that. So that aminogenesis script, or whatever you call it, the copy that Greg sent over. Where do you visualize something like that going? Is it on what the Adjive guys called the pre-sale page, or would that be on the actual website for the Collagen Kit?
Both, but again, it's not what you say; it's how you say it. So, it's like I watch a lot of professional wrestling. That was my first writing job. When I was 16 years old, I had dreadlocks. I was the fallen angel, Shane Apollo. Uh, it's people want the unfolding. They want the story. You don't need it's like a Hollywood script. If you give everybody the plot right off the bat, they don't want to sit there and watch the whole movie. So this information is going to be integrated into stories, into benefits. It's sprinkled in. It's not like, we're going to shove this down your throat right away. It has to be relatable. So we have to position it properly and let them into the conversation and do it in multiple ways. So we do it on the website, we do it on the pre-sale pages, we do it on the ads in different ways. Because congruency, right? We need to develop the brand language, the brand voice. And that's what we're doing here. And every opportunity that we have to talk about science when it's relevant, we follow it up with, again, with proof. So when I read this, it's like, first of all, it's a lot of science. It's not relatable. So that's easy to fix. But then where's the proof? Give it to me. It's like if you have a meal and you're looking for a certain texture that's just not there, and it's just like not complete without it. It's just like it needs to be there. That's when you use, it's just like, again, chef in the kitchen. How do you want to use your ingredients to create the perfect meal from appetizer to dessert? Or from ad to upsell, last upsell, right? Or from the beginning of the credits to the end credits.
Right. Hey, before I forget, did you get the product yesterday?
Yeah, I have to go downstairs to grab it. I forgot this morning. I get into my routine in the morning, and
the 90-second stuff. When Greg and Josh and I were together in December, I had a horrible night's sleep, so I tried the 90-second stuff on one eye, and Josh and Greg, they're like, oh my God, after like truly 90 seconds, the one eye was like so much tighter than the other one. They're like, what the heck?
You see those dark eyes? I don't sleep. Sleep is not.
Yeah.
I go to sleep late. I wake up early.
I guarantee you put it on one eye. Put it on one eye, you'll be blown away with what the difference is.
I also got these deep Sicilian Jew sockets, so it'll be interesting. My girlfriend as well. She's got those like puffy darkness. So just natural, kind of part of her heritage. Like my you should have seen my father. He had these deep dark eyes. They were just like sunken into his face. Kind of an ugly dude, but troll-like, if you will. But man, if again, men, I love that shit. But I'm gonna respond differently than women. So it's like, call me out. We can't call men out on ads. You have to be all inclusive on Facebook. There can't be, right? You can't talk about you. It has to be we, us. Everything's us on Facebook. There's never a you. It's always an us. It's fully inclusive. But then once we get them, we can break it up. Like even in the old days, like Mike Geary with 60-minute or whatever it was, 6-pack abs. Men go here, women go here. And they're really the same thing, just a slightly varied conversation, because the emotional storytelling triggers are different. But the conversation's basically the same because it's the same science, same mechanism, But we'll be able to achieve that on the website.
What's interesting, Mark, is Plexiderm, and watching that start from nothing. They started out on ESPN, which is primarily male, and then they recently dovetailed into the female category. But
I can tell you right away. Also, this is going to kill it on Newsmax in the conservative audience.
Yeah. Yep.
If you can get a I always want to use the word sponsor, influencer in Newsmax in the Newsmax space.
Yep.
I guarantee you it will be financially worth it.
Yep. Yeah. I think
as a stream of traffic and its own stream of income, profits, ROI.
Yeah.
that platform.
Yeah. Mark,
Because this plays well to that conservative, you know, the belle, the ball, you know, it's like I'm this person, this woman during the day, but at night I get to go out and, you know, be social. So you get to go after that higher class, but then also the conservative, lower class. Wow, I can look like I'm rich. I can look like I'm beautiful and young again. You know, so it's just like it really plays well to the conservative. I like writing to the conservative audiences.
Mm-hmm. Mark, the company you referenced a couple times over the last couple of days, the Facebook, I think Facebook and Google company that goes out and brings the consumer in. How good are they?
Helmkin?
Yeah. How do you spell that?
Let me send you a link.
Because we feel that we're in the right place right now with Paradigm, but
well, when you talk to Doug, I want you to ask him that same question. Because
Helmkin. Okay.
we worked with Kern, Rory F. Stern, big names in media buying. Both failed. Rory F. Stern's a joke. Dude should not be taking money from people. The media buyers you work with, the web developers you work with, hugely matter. These guys, and again, as Doug, but they collaborate with us. They collaborate with me. Huge. Taylor specifically at Helmkin. We interact every day. And that's the level of investment that you want.
Where are they based out of?
Victoria, British Columbia.
Okay.
I'm actually going to drive up there next month. Hop in and say hey. It's beautiful up there too. It's a 2-hour ferry ride from Vancouver.
You going on vacation?
No, I just want to go up and see the British Columbia countryside, which is gorgeous. And
yeah, I always want to be out there.
And like, you know, I like the video stuff and all, but I love meeting people. You know, especially when I'm working long, you know, term. And again, when you talk with Doug, ask him about Helmkin because he's known them for a long time, and they've made money together.
Awesome.
Over different things that before me. I can't recommend them enough. I mean, I've worked with like even Emilio Kim. Emilio Kim is huge in media buying. I prefer these guys. He's too aggressive. He'll do a lot of things that aren't compliant just to make money. I don't like it. These guys understand compliance at a level that is so important for scalability.
Okay, good.
And keeping your account, which is gold, safe.
Yeah, exactly.
Or accounts, which it should be plural.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Awesome. The with regards to the videos, you'll have those recommendations and reach out on our behalf to the gentleman in Macedonia, or
yeah. So he's on Skype. When we have something to show him, I'll talk to him because I brought him a lot of business over the last 8 years. So I make sure he gives me a good price, and then I'll introduce you.
Okay, great, awesome. Mark, we're looking forward to this. This is exciting. You know.
Well, I'm gonna get on this today. Oh, same. Yeah, I'm gonna get on this today. I had somebody else. They hired me last week for a huge project, and I've already written 2 full pieces. They haven't paid me yet, so I'm gonna let them figure that out. When people, they gave me their word. When people don't follow through on their word and they don't acknowledge it. It's just, I'm old school. I don't give a shit about papers. You look at me and you say you're going to do something and you don't do it. It doesn't sit well with me. I'm not saying that to you. I'm I sound like I'm a thug. It's like everything's an exchange of energy. Yeah? So I'm just waiting for the change. In the meantime, I'm going to get on this and kill it.
To that point, we pay everything. We don't do many wires. We can wire to Macedonia. That's not a problem. But we don't do many wires, so we're old school too. So we'll overnight you a check if you're okay with that.
Oh yeah, don't worry.
Okay.
Send us an invoice. And that's always better than PayPal. PayPal always takes their cut.
Yeah. No, exactly. So just send us an invoice, Mark, when you get a chance. You can just put it right in our Skype right here between us, and then Josh will execute that and overnight it to you.
Yep, well, I appreciate it, and
we appreciate it. We're excited.
Oh no, I'm excited about this. I love this space, and we've talked in the last 6 months a lot, and it's going to be exciting to. I know there's you're in a bit of a lull with getting this out there. This is going to be the breakthrough. We're going to get it out there quickly, and we're going to make the adjustments that we need to make to scale it quickly.
Awesome.
We're on that path.
Awesome.
And that's what I love to do. I love building, architect. I love that process. It's just soothing to me. It gives my chaotic mind, which is also type A, which is also, I want to do this and I want to go play in the river. It gives my mind that ability to rest because it's so focused. That's why I love this business.
Yeah. I love it too. I love just the excitement and the challenge to with just every day building it out.
And I also love to see the competition and what they're doing and what they've done in a short time. I remember the movie The Edge, Alec Baldwin, Anthony Hopkins. One of the lines, they're running away from a killer bear. One of the lines, what one man can do, another man can do. Say it. What one man can do, another man can do. It's just like when I see what somebody's done, I'm like, oh yeah, we'll do better.
Yeah, exactly.
And just confirmation. You're just validating the heck that this audience is ripe and ready. We're gonna do better.
Amen. I mean, seriously, it does. It's great that someone else is out there already. Not to pat myself on the back, but we're the ones that my other company is the one that actually paved the way for all these instant gratification products. But it's great to see here that was in 06 now, 13 years later. Other people are still thriving like that 15 years ago that no one else had any conception of.
There's plenty of meat on the bone.
Yeah, no, there really is.
This comes down to the art of connection. Yeah. Who can connect in the most authentic way so that people are inspired? Right. And here we have inspiration.
Yeah, I mean, and that's where we really need you, because my experience is building it and selling it into retail. And so we had the beauty advisors and CVS and Walmart and Walgreens everywhere. The consumer could ask the beauty advisor about the product, and the beauty advisor could. We always provided for free all the beauty advisors in all the stores the product. Anyway, they all loved it, so they could talk to it, and that's how it just blossomed. But here we are dealing with e-commerce, not retail. So you're the beauty advisor in my eyes. You're the one that's going to make that creation for the website to get the consumer that's only seeing us on this screen here excited.
Well, it's these collaborations that make it possible. I mean, writing is just really 20%, and it just kind of happens. When you dive into something, and it's just like you're enveloped in it. You're like, I get it, and then just I could be typing and be like talking to my girlfriend, and because it you connect with it, it comes through. Right. And at the end of the day, this is storytelling.
So, Mark, if you don't mind my asking, how old is your girlfriend?
20.
Okay, so she doesn't need any of our products.
She's just embarrassed. Yeah, exactly half my age.
Well, she doesn't need our products.
What was that?
And some more people that would like our product, we'll overnight you some more product.
She's gonna try it today. We're gonna get some before and afters.
Well, I'm glad she enjoyed the natural curves. That's important.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll let you go, guys, and I'll ping you with some copy when I get it going on a Google Doc.
Okay. Awesome. All right, Mark. Hey, have a great day. Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Mark. See you
Yeah.
guys.
Later on.